Hello. Thanks for tuning in today. I'm sorry I'm a little late, but I've been told that if I really want to be a real celebrity, that what I have to do is be late to things. So thanks for bearing with me. I'm going to start today with a couple of questions, because usually it takes other people who are trying to be celebrities a few minutes to trickle in. And then I'm going to do the unboxing for you guys. So I hope that you will enjoy that as much as I hope I enjoy that, because, maybe it'll be a surprise for me too. So first we'll just start with a question picked almost at random, because in a panic about 30 seconds ago, I asked my assistant, what's a question that I'm supposed to answer quick? And so this is the one she gave me. She said, this is from Samantha Glover. Who said, why did you choose to go the traditional publishing route? I see so many new authors prefer self-publishing to traditional. Sure, I actually turn that off. Sorry. A little behind the scenes chatter there. Well, the real reason why I chose to go the traditional publishing route is because I'm really old. And when I was carving on stone tablets, they didn't have self-publishing. The truth is, the self-publishing, sort of the Amazon option, because most people mean Amazon when they say self-publishing. It was pretty nascent when I was getting started, and it was most people. I think at the time, most people I'd read the statistics there were, if you self-published or you published through a vanity press, which is something else altogether but related. Most people sold 80 books. And that just wasn't really the path I was hoping for. So even as it took me years and years to get published, I was like, I want to be a real boy, Pinocchio, right? I want to be a real boy. I want to actually get published with a traditional publishing company. I wanted to, never ever have to do any publicity or marketing. It's so onerous. So I thought I'll just go with the traditional publisher. They'll do all that for me. I won't have to talk to people. So that was really the big allure for me. Well, of course, that's not exactly true. But I did want to. If you're self-published, that's absolutely a viable career path. I think that the stigma against self-publishing has significantly faded. It's not gone yet, which I think is a shame. But if you do self-publish, you have to spend a lot of time, at least an equal amount of time, on just business stuff, on promotion stuff, on chasing down things, on talking to art people and saying, do this again, on working with freelancers. There's a lot of stuff that your publisher does for you. And I was like, that stuff is not fun for me. So I would rather spend more of my time on the creative side of things, the creative word smithing side of things. So that's how I wanted to start out. I don't have a really great segue from there into the unboxing, but I was really just trying to burn time. So now that you're all here, everybody who's important is here, right? Right. Okay. I'm going to do the unboxing, and we will see how this goes for all of us. Okay. I'm gonna just move my monitor here. This is a very professional operation. Can you see the box? I did think I had enough to black out my own address, so that I thought I was doing pretty good. Okay, let's see what we've got here. Ta-da! Oh, you can't quite. Yeah. You can read barcode. You might have seen my address there. Oh my goodness! What is this beautiful thing? Oh my gosh! Holy! Check this sucker out. Look at how big that. Oh my gosh! It's the Cryptonomicon by Neil Stephenson. It's so beautiful. It's so big. Okay, yeah, this is a Subterranean Press edition of collector's edition of the Cryptonomicon. One of my prized possessions. Let's see. Yeah, I know, enough joking around, guys. And okay. And this This is the Voynich manuscript. You guys, page for page, filled with a crazy man's writings. Isn't it gorgeous? All right. Okay. Fine. Enough. I do have an unboxing of one of my books. Let's see how this goes. Oh, okay. This has more than one copy in it. All right, we'll try again. The trouble of doing live streaming videos is, like, I can't tell if any of you think I'm actually funny. That might actually be an advantage. So we'll move along. Okay, here we go. No more joking around. Let's see if I can get this out without damaging it. Nice. Check out this baby. There it is. Oh my gosh. It is quite dense. Look at that. Gorgeous little guy. Beautiful. I just feel like Orbit's art team just... Lauren Panapinto, if you watch this, you guys knocked it out of the park on this thing. That's gorgeous. All right. Okay, one of the things that that might surprise you guys, because those of you who are, wow, that is heavy. Might surprise you guys, since you've been following along and you know how long this book is if you see it on the shelf, you might be like, hey, wait a second. That's not as long as I thought it was going to be. It is actually as long as you thought it was going to be. When we first laid this out, it was like, I think, was it 1,264 pages, which was a little too long for everybody. All the bookstores kind of freaked out and said that's too many pages for us to put on our shelves. We'd like to have lots of copies, right? That's what they want, lots of copies. So you'll notice this is pretty dense and thin paper. It's so many pages. We do have we're over 900 pages still, and it is almost 400,000 words. I think we're in the 390s. So it is a huge book. Simon Vance said that the audiobook comes in at I think it's around 39 hours. So it is a big book, and it is gorgeous, and it will fit nicely with the other guys on your shelf as well, hopefully without killing anyone. So there it is. I guess I have, I was going to ask you guys, okay, this is a terrible idea for me to spring on my assistant at the last second. Isn't there a way we can do a poll? There was a little thing, and it was like, oh, you can do a poll right on your video. And so I thought, I'll do a poll. Guys, should I turn to a random page and read a random sentence for you guys, or not even random? Like have you guys call out a random page number and I do it? Here, I'll say yes or no. And then let's see, can you guys upvote those? I'm just gonna watch for like 10 seconds and see who votes for those. And I will either, flip to a random page and read something or not, because some people don't like spoilers. I'm just flying by the seat of my pants here. So let's see. I see a yes. I see a thumbs up on yes. I mean, we have 2 votes, 3 votes. Okay, that's good. So somebody throw me a page number. Come on, who's quick? Who's a fast typer? I'm just waiting. Oh, okay, here we go. The last page, that's a good one. Oh, bad choice. Okay, well, that was fun. Okay, on to the next question. I'm kidding, of course. I wouldn't do that to you. Wow, 879. Heather Harney says. Okay, Heather, I know you. Heather. Let's see. Oh, and one last thing. Sorry, that's all I get. The line my eyes actually fell on was like a total spoiler, and I couldn't actually do it. So that was the fastest I could recover. So let's see. Page 69, word 420. 420, huh? I'm from Oregon. Oh, man. Okay, now I'm going to have to count the words. Okay, yeah. Dense. How's that? If I were a little faster, I would have said dank, but dang, just a little too slow. See, this is why I don't like doing anything live. Like in a novel, I would have edited that back, and I could have just put that out there. But I'm doing the best I can. Let's see. Should I guess I should try to. Heather actually said 770. Nice. 228. Let's do a real question. Unless, hold on. My assistant's leaving me hanging. I think this is punishment for that earlier poll thing that I did to her. Sean Speakman, what plants are growing back there, Brent? Like I said, it's Oregon. No, I'm kidding. I've got an African violet, and I don't know what this thing is. It was sold as various greenery. So I'll just water it until it dies, like last time. Okay. We've done a question from you before. This is going to Cy Ackerman. If you guys are cool with me just jumping again with no real transition, I will edit that back in the novel form of this at some point. But no transition. I'm just going to hop over to the questions that we have queued up before, and then you guys can throw some questions at me here live, and I'll try to hit some live ones next. Okay, and sorry for the volume. I didn't mute there. Says I'm wondering how long before a chapter becomes too long. That is, I have a chapter that's 8,500 words long, but the material within fits together and makes sense of the chapter. I'm just worried it's too long. Secondly, is our convention in terms of how many chapters go by before you switch character viewpoints. Again, this is one of those things where people like to make up rules, and you can follow those if you want. I know some very successful authors who say a chapter is 3,000 words long, and that's just what they do. And they have 3,000 word chapters. Some people really like to switch character point of view every chapter. Some people find that's too jarring when you like that's a similar tempo, like you're just going 5-word sentences, 5-word sentences, 5-word sentences over and over and over. So they switch that up. I've not had hard and fast rules for the character point of view switches. I generally say for figuring out chapter length is make it as long as it needs to be. And man, I really need to silence all my things before I get online, don't I? So if you feel like one chapter is growing absolutely out of control and getting really, really super long, even though it really is one chapter, you can easily cheat. I mean, the characters continue the conversation, but they move somewhere else. There's usually ebbing and flowing within the conversation. But the real rule, the only rule, is the novel has to be interesting enough that people keep reading. So if it's interesting enough that nobody's going to quit, it's like, oh, I've been waiting for these two characters to get in the same room, and I want to see what they have to say. And if you split away for no particular reason, it's going to tick me off more than make me thirsty to come back to it. So if that's the case, then have there be long chapters. I don't think anybody's going to be mad if you're giving them great stuff. So I wouldn't cut away unnaturally. But again, it's a balance, and your editor might have different thoughts about it, which is okay. You can usually break things up. You can figure out ways to do that. You want to still keep a chapter structure. You want to have a good intro to your chapter that's intriguing. You want to set up a good button on the end of the chapter. That stuff can be pasted in if the body of the chapter is still great. I think that's not too hard to do. Okay, let's. Some wise guy out there asks, how many plants have I killed? That's my wife, actually. Most of them, but they sometimes last a long time. We resurrected an African violet that I watered to death recently, mostly just so I can water it to death again because I want it to suffer. It wasn't blooming enough for me. So, okay, let's see. I am going to grab a couple more of your live questions, and then we'll just call it a day, because they said, Brent, you're best in small doses. I think that was a direct quote. Is that right, Laura? Yeah. I think I'm being monitored here. So, okay. Okay. Justin Thompson asks, what is the death count? He doesn't really count. I mean, do you mean on page or off page? That's really a kind of a trick question. I do like how Hamlet did it. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say. There needs to be somebody on stage at the very end to sort of tell you, hey, book's over. So less than all. There is a minor character at the end. Justin, or somebody else asked, maybe it's Justin Thompson, what do you think of A Little Hatred? Wow, it's rare you have things just served up to you that way. There is nothing little about my feelings for that book. Okay. Oh, that was Matt Holland. Okay. I was not throwing Christy under the bus. Sorry. Somebody says grow better. Thanks. Boy. I'm here to see something white burning. Nice. I have nothing clever for that right now. Dang it. What caused, Michael Spafford asks, what caused the two different audiobooks of the Black Prism? I think I can say this now that I kind of had to hold my tongue for a while. The first one came out at this really weird time in publishing. It was right after the right after the recession hit, and the recession hit the audiobook industry, or the book industry period, very hard. Most places were downsizing like crazy, and the audiobook market had not yet grown at all. So for a little while, people were trying to save money on, the publishers were trying to save money on their audiobook costs. And so they looked at these actors who'd done lots of audiobooks for them, and they were like, gee, you guys are really expensive. Maybe we'll go with some fresh blood. How hard is it to read a book? And so they did that, and they saved some money. And in my case, they gave a kid who was fresh out of college a shot. He's a young guy. He really gave it his all. I have no complaints with him or his effort. He wasn't an experienced audiobook narrator. He wasn't as good as some of the pros who are out there. So I noticed fans complaining about that and feeling like it didn't live up to their expectations. So I talked with Orbit about that quietly with Hachette Audio. They were really nice. They said, okay, that's really expensive to go back and re-record. We'll have to figure out a good excuse to do that at some point in the future. And then they did it. So they re-recorded it with Simon Vance. Kind of a funny story with Simon. So Black Prism, what's book 2 called? Anyway, it's like if somebody would just not name their things really similar titles, it's so frustrating. So they didn't tell him it was book 2 of a series, and they also lied to him about how long it was. So he signed up to do this book that he thought was going to take him 12 hours. And he gets it, and he opens it up, and he's just like, oh, I hate doing book 2 of a series. So sorry, I know I'm skipping around here a little bit. So he, it was easily going to be 24 hours or something, 25 hours. I don't remember how long it ended up being. So he ended up doing it, but he hates doing book 2s of series because sometimes people generally hate it when the narrator switches, even if the second narrator is much better than the first one. So he knew he was going to get negative reviews on that, and it's like, who needs that kind of headache? So anyway, so Simon Vance got in on book 2, and of course everybody loves Simon, so he does a wonderful job. So I, asked, can we please, get Simon all the way through, and they did that for me. So Simon went back, he re-recorded Black Prism, and now we're very happy to have him finishing out the whole series with us. and it's really fun. One of the great things is that I get to talk to Simon about things, and I would give Simon, I give him spoilers that nobody else got. They're like, okay, well, this is what I'm planning. I don't know if this will affect how you're doing this performance, but I want you to know this is what's going to happen in the future with this character or with these series of characters. And there's a thing with this prison, and you can maybe do some stuff in your performance of that. So he's just a dream to work with. Really, really fun, and a consummate professional. So that's been. I'm so glad I got to work with Simon. All right, I have a couple of. Somebody just asked me a political question. I am staying far away from there. Let's see. Adam Holiday asked, any chance Subterranean Press can do any special editions of the Lightbringer series? Man, that's a great question. If I'd been more clever, I would have been hooking that together with the whole Subterranean Press thing. But really, I was just going like, what is the hugest book I own? That's not like the Oxford English Dictionary. So maybe, I don't even know if I have the right to sell that to them. I could check at some point now, kind of wrapped it up. So I'll think about that. We'll talk with them about that. I really like working with Bill and the crew there at Subterranean Press. They're great people, and they do beautiful, beautiful books. And they actually gave me that book for free, which is ridiculous. Wonderful. Okay. Any advice to a noob about to publish your first book? Make it awesome. It can't be just good. Can't be just as good as the other books on the shelf. It's got to be better than like 95% of the books on the shelf. You just really have to go out strong the first time. So work, and finish. I'm just going to do maybe one more question, and then we'll call it a day. How do you motivate yourself to write more? Let's see. Terror of a day job. That was a big one for a long time. Guilt, and my wife working a day job. I like what I do. That helps. I also have a strong sense of duty, of obligation to fans, as it turns out, which can be kind of inconvenient. Led me to do a lot too much work and not have a really healthy, work-life balance. Was not been a thing for me in the last decade. I guess it's, how do I motivate myself? It's like I have lots of reasons to write. That I get to do this, so that if I'm slow at doing it, there's books I'll never get to write that I hope to write, because I only have so many years on this earth. That I want to find out certain things that are going to happen, that I know fans are going to want to find out certain things are going to happen. But it comes down to, this is the job that I can work the hardest at and love. I can have a bad day writing, and it happens, and sometimes it happens a lot. There are really hard parts about writing emotionally, but then I want to come back to it. I'm like, would I rather have some cushy, stupid job? It's like, no, this job is meaningful, it's difficult, and it's what I feel like I'm kind of made for. But what I say is, if you don't love writing, if you don't actually love the process, don't do it. It's insane to feel guilty about doing something that you hate. I mean, like, if you don't enjoy it, this job is just way too hard to do on any sort of long-term basis. So if you can't learn to love the process of writing, of coming up with something clever, of finding a great solution to a little problem that nobody's going to get to see for at least a couple of years, go do something else. Go do something that has a 401k. This job is wonderful. It's great. I wouldn't want to do anything else. And so this is why I work at it, and why I work hard, because ultimately I find a lot of value in it. And I think that what I get out of it, what I get out of spending, an extra, sorry, I can't find the camera, like an extra year of the Burning White, is I'm proud of this book, and I'm going to be proud of this book for the rest of my life. And I felt like it needed to be one book, not two books. So rather than give you guys half a book and then charge you again to get another half, you know, for the second half of the book, it's like, no, this needs to be one. This is one thing. This hangs together, and I want you guys to be delighted. And then I feel really good about that, and I feel like I can, like I said, like I can be proud of myself. So anyway, I hope you love it. I hope you can tolerate my my marketing stuff that's going to be going on for the next for the rest of the month, and I can't wait to meet some of you when we go on tour. And I should probably say The Burning White will be out in fine bookstores near you October 22nd or 24th if you're in the UK or associated territories. Thanks so much for joining me today, guys. I will see you later.